Are you a student about to graduate or you already finished university? Now you're hella confused what type of position should you apply to. And specifically, you're not entirely sure should you go into a graduate scheme or apply to direct entry roles. Well, both can help you kickstart your career, but they're gonna have completely different experiences. And that also will shape how your career look like and your actually working style. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the key differences between the two. Specifically, first, I'm going to show you what each option actually looks like. Second, the pros and cons of going into graduate scheme versus direct entry roles. And third, most importantly, figure out which one is the best option for you. So let's get into it. So let's start with graduate scheme. For those of you guys who know graduate scheme, it's a 1 to 3 year structured training program offered by a lot of bigger companies. And it's specifically designed for fresh graduates that don't have a lot of years of work experience. And oftentimes, they don't even want you to have a lot of years of experience. If you have 5 years, 6 years of work experience and you're getting a little bit too old, they might even reject you on that basis. So what makes graduate scheme so special? First thing, you're gonna get a full-time salary straight when you start graduate scheme. It's not an internship, it's not unpaid training program. And usually there's very clear and often predictable pathway in which how you can secure promotion and salary increase. And also, it comes with a lot of trainings, mentoring. It will help you to get qualifications. And oftentimes, you can rotate between multiple departments and different teams before you know which one is your favorite. And at the end of the graduate scheme, you will be offered a permanent position to join the company forever. And these graduate schemes are offered by big companies. We're talking about investment banks, we're talking about management consulting firms, big tech companies, big retail, consumer companies, because they want to scout out talent from early on and develop them, nurture them into future leaders. So in short, if you're someone who wants stability, predictability, and you want that big name, and you're not entirely sure what type of department would work the best for you, then graduate scheme is a fantastic starting point for you. How does a direct entry-level position look like, and how is it different from graduate scheme? Now, direct entry-level role, it's pretty simple. It's like what the name suggested. It's a normal full-time job that you apply to just like everybody else. There's no official scheme, there's no training program, there's not a lot of mentorship, and it's not specifically for students too. It is, however, targeted for those who don't have a lot of experience, but oftentimes they would require to have some sort of experience to start with. What happens with direct entry role is you're going to join a team, you don't have the rotation, you straight away join, for example, marketing department. You have a well-defined role, you know what you need to do, and you expected to learn and grow doing the job. So different from graduate scheme, you have less support on your training. You don't have that rotation across multiple departments. You know straight away you're gonna join this type of department and stuff and stay with them. And what the good thing about applying to direct entry-level position is, first, it's often a lot more flexible in terms of industry and positions because you're not just applying to bigger companies anymore, you also have access to mid-size, small size, or even startups. And we're also talking about a lot more numbers because graduate schemes usually are only offered by bigger companies, and for direct entry position, that means you have pretty much access to all the available jobs. And also, with direct entry position, you are going to start sooner than graduate scheme because graduate scheme have fixed start date for different batches, and it requires you to start the application 6 months or 9 months earlier. Whereas for direct entry role, you can apply, you can get started straight away, or you can get started in 3 months time. So you can get started with working pretty much straight away. You don't have to wait until the batch. You don't have to wait until the fixed start date like graduate schemes. And another good thing about entry, and also because you don't have that structure, you can even sometimes progress faster if you perform well, because you don't fall into that rigid hierarchy anymore, and you're not limited by their defined rule and KPIs. And I have seen people where they join a company and after just 3 years, they already promoted to a manager. So if you're super clear the industry and what type of job you want to get into, and you want to get stocking and build experiences straight away, then direct entry role will be a great option for you. Before I do a side-by-side comparison and tell you which one is the best for you, if you have been sending out hundreds of applications but getting rejected, Then I put together a free training on how you can land your dream job offer in as short as 90 days. And this is the exact same training that has helped hundreds of students land big job offers from JP Morgan, RWE, tech startups. It will tell you the exact mistake that you are making right now and what you need to do instead. Now, check the link below and I hope you enjoy. Now, what are the advantage and disadvantage of going into graduate scheme? When it comes to the pros of working graduate scheme, first, you have structured training. That means you're going to have regular catch-up with your team members, with your managers, with your mentors. They are going to assign you specific mentors to help you with your career. And in specific industry, they're going to help you to even get the professional qualifications. For example, like ACCA for accounting graduate scheme, CFA for investment-related graduate scheme, and also charter engineeringship for engineering positions. They even give you study leaves, just like university, and budget to allocate for your own personal learning. Now, the second advantage, which a lot of people love, is the security you're going to get for working in graduate scheme. And that mostly comes from two things. First, because you're working with well-known company, you know they're not going to go bankrupt. They're going to stay here. They're going to be on top of the game in the industry. So you know you have the opportunity to stay with this company for even as long as 10 to 15 years. Second, the security comes from the known promotion structure within the company. You're going to know what's going to happen in 1 to 3 years. You know what you need to do in order to get promotion and salary increase. And that leads to the third point, which is the brand prestige. You're mostly going to be working for a well-known company, and that means it's going to be a big plus on your CV when it comes to future career switch. And on top of that, because it's going to be a big company, you also will get the fourth perks, which is the networking. And that comes from the people you're going to know from joining the cohort of graduate scheme. Those who graduated the same year, join the same company at the same time as you. You can see their growth. You can get friends. You can have more relatable friends because you literally have the same age, same experience. You're gonna go through the same type of training. And I've seen a lot of people build lifelong friends and professional networks that they can tap into in the future just by getting to know their graduate cohort people a lot better, which is something that you don't really get from direct entry because you don't have a cohort. You have a lot of colleagues that are like 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years older than you. Now we know the pros, what about the cons? The first biggest one, which probably puts a lot of people off, is incredibly high level of competition. When it comes to applying to graduate scheme, everybody want to join JP Morgan, everybody want to go into McKinsey, and the ratio of selection is very high. Sometimes we even heard crazy statistics like they only will pick one candidate out of 500 candidates. So that means you absolutely need to be really prepared and be ahead of the game and also do extremely well in every single stage of the application process. Now, the second con for graduate scheme is you have flexibility because everything has been predefined, your training, your promotion, your salary increase. You can see what you need to do, but you can't fast track it comparing to smaller companies or direct entry roles. And that means if you're somebody who are ambitious, who want to fast track your career, who want to learn a lot more things, who don't want to be just defined by rules and boundaries, then you're going to hit a pretty big wall because with bigger companies, a lot of things are not flexible. You have to follow rules, you have to follow time. If you want to be promoted to next level, you have to wait for example, like 3 years. You can't shorten up to 2 years. And the third con when it comes to graduate scheme is its availability. It's not available across all the industry, unfortunately. If we're looking at creative roles like UX, UI design, or merchandise, or fashion industry, they don't really have graduates. That also includes smaller companies like tech startups, tech unicorn, because they don't have enough budget. They don't have that demand to have structured training program. Then if you want to explore these type of industries or options for your career, then graduate scheme won't be an option for you. On the other side, let's have a look at the direct entry roles, what pros and cons it offers to you. First, you have high flexibility. That means you have more say and you have more involvement in your actual projects. Oftentimes, comparing to a traditional graduate scheme where you work for bigger companies, the level of impact that you deliver is not quite the same as the level of impact that you will feel when you're working for direct entry role in a relatively smaller company. And that is because bigger companies, they typically have much more specialized role and you tend to do a little bit more repetitive work. Compared to smaller companies where you join them directly, you have more say, you can have more control of how you want to do things, and you're going to see the actual impact a lot more. And as a result of that, you're going to have a higher sense of fulfillment And in certain circumstances, you might feel a lot happier. And the second positive thing for direct entry role is you can start anytime. That means you don't have to year for yearly graduate scheme. You don't have to wait only until the graduate scheme opens. If you have an offer, you can join the company straight away. So you don't have to spend month of waiting time or month of preparation time just to make sure that you hit that yearly jackpot for graduate scheme. And third, potentially faster promotion. Now, this is a hit or miss. It depends on how good you are and your performance. If you do extremely well, you help the company to grow a lot, then you will get higher promotion and even bigger salary increase compared to what has been well defined in a lot of bigger companies for graduate scheme. And lastly, you're gonna have much more varied industry to join. You can join creative businesses, you can join marketing agency, you can join local business, and they offer, direct entry role. They are hiring everywhere, anytime. But again, the trade-off for join direct entry role first is you don't have structured training. You often are required to learn on the spot, and we call it training on the job. And a lot of time you might have to figure out things by yourself because it might has never done before by other people's in the firm. So if you're someone who wants predictability and you want to know this is what you need to do and you want to have that training and support, and you tend to be a little bit more intimidated by exploration, then direct entry level role might not be something that you want to be considered as a first option. Then the next con is there's less rotation. So if you don't know exactly what type of industry you want to get into or what type of job you want to get your hands on, then direct entry level role doesn't offer you the opportunity to try different things first before you make a final decision. Instead, straight away, you'll be placed in this team doing this type of work and you can really try different other projects. And the third disadvantage is the security, especially around the feeling of security. It might feel less secure, especially in smaller companies or industry where the turnover is quite high. Whereas in graduate scheme, once you are in the scheme, you are good for solid 2 to 3 years. But for smaller companies, you're not entirely sure. You don't have that guarantee because there's no structure. And you might feel like, oh, maybe I didn't do well, or maybe the company have to cut the cost and the person that will be let go might be you. Now, these are the pros and cons of graduate scheme and direct entry level roles. And here is how you can make a decision on which one is the best for you. So you're gonna ask yourself the following question. Do I want structure and support to actually grow and learn in my first job? If the answer is yes, then go for graduate scheme. Do I want freedom and flexibility and I don't mind figuring things out by myself? I love ambiguity. Then you can go for direct entry level position. Third, do I want specific training and the big name attached to a company? If the answer is yes, then go for graduate scheme. Or do I want to get stuck in the specific industry because I know that's what I want to be and I want to get started faster and get that experience? Then go for direct entry roles. And also, most importantly, these two things are not completely separated. Oftentimes, you're going to mix up your application too. Because many people, they started their career in graduate scheme first, then later move on to direct entry role. Or when they are actually making applications, they are applying to both graduate scheme and also direct entry level role to maximize their chance of getting their dream offers. And don't forget, it's not about which one is right or wrong, it's about which one is the best for you right now. They both offer amazing opportunities for you to learn, to build experience, to earn, and also grow. And you can always change your idea and pivot later as you are in the process of figuring out which one is the best for you, which one you like more. And you're still young, so go explore and try different things, make mistakes. You're going to realize you have so many more opportunities. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow for more, and I'll see you in other videos.